Good afternoon and welcome to the Indie Boomer Magazine show. So happy that you joined us this afternoon. I'm Mary Pat McKee. I publish the magazine Indie Boomer. And I also have with a special guest today, Scott Jones. He's with Easy Travel Pad, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about that in just a minute. First of all, I want to thank Jim Wofford for allowing us to have the show. Hamilton County TV is great. Also wanted to thank Logan Street Signs and Banners and the Movies in the Park and all the different things that Jim does for the Noblesville community. Scott, let's jump right in. I know you've been writing almost a year for us, but tell us about Easy Travel Pad and what all that is.
Okay, well, first of all, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today. Yeah. Easy Travel Pad is just simply a travel agency that I started about 6 years ago while living up in northern Indiana. We came down this direction a few years ago.
Okay.
And I was in a corporate job. I had a sales territory. The economy wasn't doing so well in 2008. People might remember that a little bit. And I decided to just make a change.
Yes, we do.
So I decided to reinvent myself and have a little bit of fun in the second generation of my career.
I think there's a lot of boomers that are doing that. Tell us about Easy Travel Pad and what that is.
Well, a lot of people think that travel agencies have gone away or have gone out of business because of the internet.
Right.
And there's a little bit of truth to that, but there's also a little bit of fallacy to that as well. What's happened is a lot of businesses have closed their stores and they've moved home to work in more of a niche rather than like just processing airline tickets and things of that nature that they used to do at the store.
Right.
So what I do is I focus on helping people with leisure travel plans, vacations, things of that nature. I mostly focus on the Caribbean and Mexico, Latin American destinations, but also certainly in Europe and cruises and all sorts of things, just the most popular sorts of vacations that people typically take, and help them with that planning and help them save a little bit of money, help them save a little bit of time, and help them, most importantly, have a great experience so that they're not wasting their time, which is life's most precious commodity, if that makes any sense.
It is when you get older. And there is an awful lot of boomers that love to travel. And I think just taking that whole, especially if you've never been to Europe and you go over there, only because I've done it, I did it back in 2000, you don't know about those hotels. You don't know where you could be ending up, where you have got the experience and would be able to book those kinds of things.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just about making the right choice necessarily. It's a lot of times about maybe leveraging a relationship that I have.
Sure.
So it could be that if one were to go do things themselves, they could just have a flawless experience. It could be that they encounter a bump along the way, and when that happens, and it's pretty frequent that it does, it's nice to have somebody in your corner, either back home or right there in destination.
Right.
Everybody has so many people these days have a tendency to want to go their own way, and as opposed to like organized tours. But there are companies who specialize in allowing people to go their own way and go fully independent in their tour of Europe, say for example, yet at the same time they're there with them the entire time too, just behind the scenes.
Well, I think that's really important, especially when the destination could be really far away. Yeah. Do you, and I don't know, do you do any type of guarantee because you booked it? Because if they go through you, if there is something that happens, they've got you to help them.
Recently, I did a honeymoon for a couple, fairly upscale Costa Rican trip. They are very active. They wanted to do a lot of adventures, and they had one issue that popped up. The company that I dealt through, it's called Eco America Tours down, and they specialize in Central America, Belize, Costa Rica, and they have as all tour companies do, all sorts of fine print that alleviate them from any responsibility or liability or whatever. Right?
Sounds like America.
But these guys, they totally stepped up, and it wasn't a big issue, but it was any little issue can be a big issue if your heart's set on a particular thing.
Right.
And they were there for them in a matter of moments to help switch them to a different hotel because they just didn't care for the one that they had chosen.
Wow.
Within 30 minutes, they had them at a different place.
Right.
I could go on, but
that's a perfect example of using a travel agent versus maybe booking it yourself.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, because get a call center on the phone.
Yeah, when you're that far away.
I feel like I spend half my life on hold, for other people, but that's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's great. So, so really, you don't have a fee.
No.
Okay, explain how that works.
Okay, so some travel agencies do charge fees still today.
Right.
Like, say, for example, a large agency with a lot of staff that's in a high-profile, high-rent district or something like that does a lot of corporate travel, for example, they're going to charge fees routinely. Other agencies will as well. Mm-hmm. I don't need to, don't have to. Most travel agencies today do not charge fees. The price that individuals pay going through an agency like myself versus doing things themselves is the same. Normally, I can guarantee best price by having relationships with a lot of different suppliers. Say, for example, on that Costa Rica trip, if it were the company that I was using was, let's say, pricing higher than Expedia, a lot of times they would match the price that Expedia would charge if it's the exact same experience.
Right.
And if not, I could certainly book it through Expedia, and Expedia still pays me. So,
that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So there. Not only do I have relationships with, and by me I mean like basically any travel agency has relationships.
No, we thought you had a special insight.
Well, but
yes, you do.
Special service.
There you go.
That's right. It's all about relationships.
It really is all about relationships.
But ask me that again.
It's a boomer moment.
Lost my train of thought.
That's so
She interrupted me.
I know, and that's a bad sign to do. In fact, I'm going to interrupt you even more because we need to take a break and come back. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the articles that you've written in the Indie Boomer magazine and go from there.
Awesome.
All right. See you guys in a minute. Thanks.
Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the perfect night out? Why rent a flick when you can rent the entire theater? Call today to reserve our 32-seat theater for your next event or just stop by to see what's showing this weekend. The 14 by 7 foot screen and the high quality digital surround sound system offers all the amenities you would expect from the big theaters with a laid back atmosphere and comfortable seating of your own home. Wofford Theater at 1744 South 10th Street in Noblesville gives you the classic movies you want with a big theater experience. Everyone knows it's easy to find first-run movies in the big theaters. But where can you go to watch your favorite classic movies on the big screen for the...
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street Signs and Banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore. You know, when Margaret...
We're back. Welcome back to the Indie Boomer Show. Mary Pat McKee, publisher of Indie Boomer Magazine, with Scott Jones, Easy Travel Pad. Scott writes our travel page for the Boomer, has for the past year, and we were just talking about Easy Travel Pad and how his agency works, and I hope you got to see the first part of the show. This segment, we wanted to talk about some of the articles that Scott has written for us, and we've got the May issue here, I think everybody's familiar with, and you had the Grand Canyon. Tell us about that one.
I was talking a little bit about the Grand Canyon in that it's changed. You know, it's still the same canyon as it ever was.
I was going to say,
right?
I didn't think the rocks had changed.
But they're, like, say, for example, what the article starts out talking about, you know, in the olden days and still today. As a matter of fact, on Facebook today, I saw a Facebook friend packing up a car in Florida and heading to drive to the Grand Canyon with the kids and family and everything. But there's so many more options today. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, Disney Adventures. Mm-hmm. I don't know that many people even know that exists, but the Disney company,
Disney with the Grand Canyon, okay.
So Disney Adventures does tours for families. It's family oriented.
Really?
It's the same quality as the Disney, Disney
So
World
top-notch.
or Disney Cruise Lines or whatever. So yeah, it's top of the line.
Right.
It's great. They have cookouts. They sing songs. They it's, as anything Disney, it's not the least expensive option, but to have a week tour around the Grand Canyon and the national parks out in that area with a company like Disney Adventures is fantastic. So that was just one of the several things that exist that I mentioned in the article.
Does Disney do other things besides the Grand Canyon, or
Great Pyramids.
really in Egypt?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Disney
worldwide.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is new. I mean, I didn't know that. Is that something new, or
Relatively new, yeah.
Okay.
It hasn't always existed for sure, but
Right.
I've been
Walt
in this
didn't
business.
discover it or
no,
invent it,
no.
or-
Well, he may have. I don't know. No, I've been in this business for about 6 years now,
Okay.
and to the extent of my knowledge, Disney Adventures has been around, but really was kind of an infant, I think, at about that time.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
it was
sure
maybe just
exactly how long.
Well, it
but-
takes a long time to get the word out about
Absolutely,
everything.
but there's other tour companies that do similar things as well that hit a lot of different price ranges. So, for example, if you had, let's say, 20-something-year-old kids that wanted to go experience out west, but do it at a modest price, then there would be another company called Kentucky that maybe people haven't heard of as well. They only specialize in younger people's vacations to out west, to Australia, to Europe.
And when you say younger people,
you have to be under 35. You have to be
Okay, I was
between
gonna say, everybody's
18
younger
and
than us now.
35 years old, right? And you can't go. So I can't go. We can't go now. I wish I would have known about it back then.
we can go with another group. We'll go with the Disney. Hey, speaking of Disney, one of the first articles you wrote, which I really thought was very interesting, and I don't know, but my daughter lives in San Diego, but it was multi-generational travel. Is that-
Right.
Yeah, but it talked about, families that have kids all over the country coming together to one destination. Go ahead, I'll let you take it.
And it could be anywhere, but it is absolutely one of the hottest trends in travel today is the grandparents taking the kids and the grandkids somewhere
Right.
on an adventure or just a vacation. And that can certainly be, going to the beach in Florida or the Carolinas or something like it's always been. But there's so many other opportunities and possibilities that exist now. Like, say, for example, all of the cruises. Cruising has gotten quite affordable over the years.
Okay.
And they're
So families will do three generations on that?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Well, there's lots to
Or
do.
all-inclusive vacations as well. Say, for example, I think I spoke about the Beaches Resort down in Turks and Caicos.
Yes.
It's the hottest resort in the Caribbean, top-notch, everything.
So how does that work? Do they get a block of rooms together, or do they have a little chateau or whatever?
A lot of the resorts will have 1, 2, and 3 bedroom rooms, right?
Okay, yeah.
Or just, locate people in close proximity, or,
Okay.
Maybe far away.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe the grandparents here and the kids over
Yeah,
there.
whatever they request.
We'll see you at lunch. That's it.
Exactly.
Okay.
But no, it's a good experience, and those types of resorts, let's say, or cruise lines, have great kids programs. So it doesn't matter what age
Yeah.
the children are. They could be the grandchildren, whatever. They could be infants to tweens to teens, whatever, and they'll be gone all day doing their own thing, but then come back for dinner. Everybody
Right.
gets back together and has fun.
Yeah. Well, the thing on the cruise ships is they can't run away. So, I mean, they have
No.
to be on that boat somewhere.
No, and you know what's interesting? A lot of the cruise lines will have, when you go on a cruise, there's opportunities to go on excursions in the
Oh,
different
yeah.
ports, right?
Yeah.
And some of them will have specific kids excursions that only the children will go on.
And they supervise them.
Yeah, oh yeah, they have great
Wow.
supervision.
There can't be there's probably not enough money to pay them for doing that.
Well, not me, but that's just me.
Exactly. Well, I want to talk about this next issue coming up. We have the next issues coming out, should be here about second week of July with the Wright brothers. So excited, just read the feature last night, as a matter of fact. But in that particular issue, you're talking about something a little closer to home, Michigan in the summertime.
Michigan is drivable, and
Yes.
a lot of people are interested in that. And certainly Michigan's one of those things that, someone can do on their own.
Right.
But they can also reach out to someone like myself who, pays attention to all things travel.
Right.
Okay? So I don't do a tremendous amount of business in Michigan. I do a lot more in Mexico,
Sure,
right,
I
or the
bet you
Caribbean
do,
or Europe
yeah.
or whatever. But I do have relationships up there as well. Have some experience. Is one of the great things that people might have on their bucket list and haven't been yet is going up to Mackinac Island. Have you been?
Oh, yes, I have, years
It's
ago,
awesome.
but it is awesome.
It's a
Definitely
neat little
worth
place, a
going
good
to.
place to go, just spend a few days.
Yep.
But the article just talks about a lot of the things that are possible just to take a driving trip, say starting in Detroit and going up through Mackinac Island and back down the West Coast. And there's a lot of things to do in Michigan, places to have fun. And I'm, happy to help people with things that are that simple as well.
So bottom line, if people are going to be traveling, they should be talking to you.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to ask
And
at
I
all.
don't charge any fees.
Well, there you go. That's even a better bonus. I do think if you're going to do Michigan, summertime would be the time to do it.
For me,
Yeah. Well, and the Lake Michigan, I've been on many, many times. It's as good as an ocean. I mean, you can't see the end of it or anything.
no,
so
it's incredible.
you
And
can pretend you are.
and I heard a couple of days ago that there's still ice on Lake Superior. So if you want to
Wow.
go, still catch a little bit of winter.
Okay, I don't
you
know
can-
any of those people,
you can
but
just
okay.
drive up to Minnesota and
Maybe the people from Florida want to go up
put
there
your
and check
boat
it
in
out.
the water and there was a picture of somebody that was having a picnic on an ice sheet.
Oh, good for them.
The other day.
Hope they're having a good
I
time.
know.
Hey, we're going to have to wind it up again. Hey, one more time, want to thank Jim Wofford, Hamilton County Television, for allowing us to have the show, Logan Street Signs and Banners. And we will be here 2 weeks from now, and we will see you then. Thanks so much. Thank you, Scott, for joining me.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
more
it.
than welcome.
Have a great day.
You too.